He has undermined the severity of the outbreak by claiming Democrats are just trying to hurt him politically. He has used the health crisis to advocate for his anti-immigration policy. He has contradicted his own scientists and experts in real time. During a serious visit to the CDC, he cracked a joke about his Ukraine phone call being more perfect than coronavirus tests. A quarantine nurse says she was refused a test even though she'd been exposed to the virus. If you're confused, well, here was White House counselor Kellyanne Conway on Friday to clear things up.
What I am pleased to report is that the 14 deaths so far that are completely tragic and very sad in this country shows that this is being contained because the president took action, and a lot of you criticized him for doing that.
Open your mouth really wide.
What? No.
I'm gonna put my whole hand in.
Oh, no, you're not. Please, keep hands to yourself.
Wow, okay, I'm sorry. Suddenly I'm Harvey Einstein.
Wow. Bucks, I loved what you said last week, that LeBron is still underappreciated. At age 35, he's playing as well as he ever has, continues to just refine his game and his approach. What impressed you the most about these wins less than 48 hours apart?
What a difference a week makes. The press and the pundits have declared Biden's campaign is dead. But South Carolina had something to say about that. And today there's 11 victories behind us, and we lead in both delegates and the national vote. We're going to unite this party and unite this country.
Everybody's healthy. Some of them just gave me some for the sake of individual prayers for what is the thing that you're looking forward to most in watching this game on Sunday? Well, I guess it's what they call this the county championship. LA City title, I mean, whatever you want to do. I want to see LeBron James assert himself against the Clippers. Against Giannis Antetokounmpo on Friday. We see that game. And LeBron shows up. And adds a nice little wrinkle to this series because until now, Lakers have not
une carte routière.
Il voudrait une carte routière.
Je veux tuer.
They would like to use a scanner. Il voudrait utiliser.
Je veux utiliser le salle de bain.
Since Game 7 of the second round of last year's Stanley Cup playoffs. Here's Thornton on the power play now for San Jose in this scoreless first period. A shot from Timo Meier. Now Thornton, and he scores!
Thornton's going to slide down back door.
Instead of going down to the Gulf Coast in Panama City, where that oil spill was, I think it was in 2011 or so, he decided to go home for the weekend in Chicago for a long Memorial Day weekend. Very critical of him for not going down there.
It was about optics mostly, though.
And
Games ahead of the Lakers in the loss column. It looked like the Lakers are going to win today against the Clippers, and so they got to play a game.
Little drop pass, there it is. And it's a one that Francouz, there's a change of an angle, and it's because Timo Meier could shoot here. You can see Francouz was square to Meier, doesn't get far enough over to his left.
Avs are content to keep it there, but they can't. Gregor trying to force it to the net.
Healthcare. Nobody out. Everybody good education. Nobody out. Everybody a decent living wage. Nobody out. An environment in which we can breathe. Nobody out. This land is our land.
the questions of Bernie, because today is the day before
for Mini Super Tuesday. And Michigan is at stake.
He has been campaigning there all weekend. He was with Jesse Jackson, who endorsed him over the weekend. They were there in Michigan, and then he had a rally in Michigan last night, and then tonight's the town hall, and tomorrow is the election.
Interesting. Alive. Keep hope. Alive. Keep hope. Alive. Keep hope. Alive. Keep hope. Alive. Never surrender. Keep hope. Alive.
Rallies on the books right now, booked. And I'm wondering if he's getting pressure not to have them because of the whole coronavirus situation. But I imagine that if we're going to go to school, if we're going to go to games, we watched the Clippers and Lakers play yesterday. The place was packed. I don't know why Donald Trump can't have a rally. And, of course, no one's stopping 70-year-old Bernie Sanders, who is coming off a heart attack.
Bernie was so frightening, they picked a man that is showing obvious signs of dementia, which is astounding. Because if you consider that what he's displaying gets worse, what's he going to be like 3 years from now?
Do you think...
I don't think we should... Look, we're dealing with who's going to be the president of the United States, and we shouldn't pussyfoot around with this.
Also, you think you know about science because your uncle was a doctor? People don't just automatically know what their uncles know. Otherwise, we would all know the lyrics to every Steely Dan song.
March 9th, 2020.
région de Québec où il y a un vieillissement de main-d'œuvre en général, mais beaucoup de développement du côté de l'emploi, beaucoup de nouveaux services, le secteur des technologies. La Montérégie, tout le secteur manufacturier. On a aussi beaucoup de spécialités en aérospatial qu'on retrouve dans les Laurentides. On a aussi évidemment la Côte-Nord, le nord du Québec à cause des mines. Les besoins sont grands. La région de Laval, ce sont toutes des économies très diversifiées dans lesquelles on retrouve une grande variété d'industries. Donc, Laval, entre autres, beaucoup de services, les technologies de l'information aussi, beaucoup de commerce, de services. Une autre particularité du côté du centre du Québec, juste entre Montréal et Trois-Rivières, Montréal et Québec, je m'excuse, donc juste en face de la ville de Trois-Rivières au sud. Cette région-là perd beaucoup de sa main-d'œuvre parce que les gens tendent à migrer vers les deux grandes villes. Ils s'en vont vers Montréal ou ils s'en vont vers Québec. Ce qui fait en sorte qu'ils ont de la misère à avoir une main-d'œuvre sur place. Et c'est une économie très, très dynamique où plusieurs secteurs sont représentés. Transport, entreposage, les commerces, les services. Et c'est très, très, très dynamique. Mais difficulté donc à avoir la main-d'œuvre nécessaire parce que on perd la main-d'œuvre dans les grands centres urbains. Alors, et en comparaison, vous avez le taux de chômage de l'ensemble du Québec qui est de 7 %. Alors, ces régions-là sont nettement en bas du taux de chômage moyen au Québec. Alors, j'avais préparé une
Tabernacle
des régions, mais que malheureusement, je ne pouvais pas tout faire.
held off the coast of California have tested positive for the coronavirus. The Los Angeles Times reports the ship is expected to dock today at the port of Oakland with all of the nearly 3,000 passengers set to be quarantined for 14 days at military installations, according to the Department of Health and Human Services. Keep in mind, they tested 46 people. 21 of them have the virus.
Gotta beat them good. This Phoenix. Suns' biggest lead, 16. Dante DiVincenzo on the floor. Booker muscles it up over the top of Lopez. And Book looking for the and one.
Tom Brady, New England Patriots. We're 1 week away from Tom Brady being allowed to officially entertain offers from other teams. We are 9 days away from him being able to sign with another team. Charlie Weiss, who was an assistant coach in New England when Tom Brady arrived, he said last week on SiriusXM NFL Radio he has been texting with Tom, and he shared the outcome of the text exchange that he was able to share because I guess there was some language in there that he couldn't repeat. I don't usually pass along these conversations, Weiss said, but one thing Tom told me, nobody knows anything, so anyone who is telling you they know, they don't know. And look, that's a fair observation. Sure. And the 49ers have done, have said, have tried nothing to knock it down, which tells me that either they're clueless from a PR standpoint, which they're not, or that there's something to it, which is what I tend to believe.
I agree, too. Yeah, the fact that they've gone crickets or made no defining statement about it, to me, does he go back to New England for 20? Or is that 5 really enough for him to say, nah, I'm leaving town and I feel disrespected or whatever that may be?
I'm David Lloyd. No one had a better weekend than LeBron and the Lakers, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say. If you did, we want to hear about it. Of course, 2-0 against the Lakers coming in. LeBron finishing with that layup, gets fouled. Tight game throughout. LeBron on Kawhi. Kawhi spin.
At the end of the game, no challenge. Can you describe what it's like as a defender to when he tries to force this? It's not hard at all.
Yeah, I mean, no reason to, not poke the bear or anything there.
Out of the 6 states last time.
And he's technically trailing right now by percentage points, but we know if you look at Super Tuesday, you kind of throw out the polls, they kind of misled us in many different directions.
So they didn't know that Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg were going to drop out.
Absolutely.
So your husband, he renovates houses?
You're thinking about moving, but you're going to wait until the interest rates go down.
That's not my story.
He controls the Red Room. They're manipulated. Fully conscious, but no choices. I should have come back for you. How many others are there? Enough.
Patriots. With free agency now just 9 days away, or in other words, with the possibility of the Patriots losing Tom Brady now just 9 days away. While it is a very great possibility,
Rewrite that.
the assumption is that I won't rewrite it. The other assumption is that Patriots owner Robert Kraft would finally get involved. Keep hearing that news. What does that mean for Tom Brady?
What does it mean for Kevin Wilde? I think it means tears on the horizon.
No, stop it. Listen, I'm a truth teller. I know that. I'm one of the...
this White House, which is not, I would say communications is not a strength. To be fair, they have very few strengths. But what do you feel at a time like this when messaging is so important? How do you perceive what's happening right now?
On a Super Bowl. It's my hometown. Okay. I'm a Russell Wilson guy. And he comes on the show all the time. You go to Seattle. But when you entered Seattle, before going to the Chiefs, there were ESPN article, a little backbiting, there was a little tension.
And sort of this mass panic, and you don't want to have mass panic. But if you want to stop the spread, the best way is mass gatherings done, and he doesn't see how we avoid that. But Tony, there are jurisdictions who are disagreeing with that.
Thank God for your friend Jason.
Who are critical and who see the flaws. This is one of those ones where when Donald Trump says, oh, a miracle's going to take Corona away. That's like the one in a million things where I'm like, ooh, I wish you were right. Yeah. But the problem, and look, here's where it was always going to land.
Right.
We were always going to need him to have more credibility on the world stage, to level with us, and to be more competent than he is when our health and our family's health was on the line. And sadly, it took something like this, I think, to even...
Sense we got a little chemistry problem here.
It wasn't really a chemistry problem. Myself, I'm coming in as a rookie. I'm not understanding football. I'm not understanding how nothing works in this world. And I got all these great leaders. I got Richard Sherman. I got Michael Bennett.
You may not have fans there. I don't... The NCAA says it's going full speed ahead. I don't know that they will when the NCAA starts.
By the time we get there.
This is
a lot of developments every day.
Going on all the time. In terms of colleges, they ask you, when parents send their children to college, and I know this, Colleges Act is in loco parentis. In the
Eastern teams, pretty good when shipped west. Yeah. Could we see the opposite? San Diego State, are they worthy being a number 2, say, in the East? I don't know.
The blessings to play with and it helped guide me onto my way into the league, and just to have these guys, and it wasn't a bad situation coming to it for myself. Like I tell everyone, it was the best situation for me.
Games people play. Starting with a scheduled matchup tonight, the West Coast Conference Final between Gonzaga and St. Mary's. People are much more familiar with Gonzaga and his 30-2 season, March ambitions, and last night beat BYU, which had already beaten Gonzaga. So, Tony, if Gonzaga loses tonight, are you still giving them a number 1 seed?
It's up to me. I'm going to bounce them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to bounce them because they will have lost 2 games in conference. Their reps voted down a resolution to let players who've already voted change their votes.
March 11, 2020, Wednesday morning. 6:30 a.m. start time.
be the same in America, though. Like, food in Africa isn't modified. Locals try to do that with American food. They would eat at one place, and then be like, I need to sleep it down. I can't fly no more.
Something that's not their fault. I'm here with Mitch McConnell and others, with everybody, to announce some hastily thrown together measures that I feel like I'm just throwing handfuls of dry dog food at a charging tiger. But here's a tax cut, maybe some loans, or substantial reliefs for everybody. Small companies, fat companies, sexy companies, ugly companies. Tell me when one of these works. Does anybody send a flare?
And the CDC has been pretty honest that they had a massive mistake with the testing and the rollout of the testing. And we're way behind the eight ball. The signs were out there for 3 months. We've been watching what's happening in China. My team has been talking to doctors in China and more recently Italy. Look, this virus is following the playbook. It's too many of us were seen as alarmists and talking, too much of this thing. What is the danger in having a public that's over-prepared, and we look back and say it wasn't quite as bad as the projection?
Is extinguished, that it stops in its tracks. And I love the fact that we can identify that this is precautionary, right? We have affected cases, those are serious. We've had deaths, those are serious. They're not to be taken lightly at all. But I also think we shouldn't be in a state of panic, because what we're doing and taking cues from our president is taking early, strong, bold actions to keep this at bay as much as we possibly can.
Iran has not been transparent, but Italy has been totally transparent. Look at the numbers there. It's probably the best indicator in terms of case fatalities. Look at their hospitals that are overrun in Basica and Lombardy, and you will see what will play out in the United States.
My career, I should have made the shift to slot receiver, because I felt like if I did that, I'd still be playing football right now.
Unless there's...
He has told us nothing of any importance.
So I think when you look at the response, Elizabeth, from this administration, it really hasn't been good. I don't think that we've seen real leadership.
He's not going to get reelected because
we don't even have
real contact with somebody who had the coronavirus, and he has not gotten tested.
Have you gotten tested?
No, there's no test.
Why?
There are no test kits.
Well, here's the deal. If the president's medical advisor, his chief physician, says that he has no...
I only believe Fauci.
Well, believe both. I think we should prepare. I think we should pray. I'm not going to let coronavirus rule me and let it be an idol. I'm going to use Purell.
I'm not listening to Dr. Blumspurs either. I'm not.
Here's the deal.
Okay. It's a miracle.
March 12th, midnight start. Stand into this one. What about the world? Myself, my slave worse.
tonight, and then on Monday we were going to start doing shows without an audience. But basically, things are moving very fast. I don't need to tell you that. And our guests, with great reason, decided that they didn't feel right coming in and doing the show tonight, so we decided to cancel it. And we don't know when we are going to start doing shows again. But we had written a closer look last night, and the closer look is about everything that's happening right now. And really, the reason we're going to do this right now is that once it's on the cards, Wally makes us do it. So, here's a closer look that was written last night about the president's address to the nation. And, go to the next one, Wally. Sorry, I jumped in. And the administration's failed response to the pandemic, and we thought we should go ahead and do it. So, for more on this, it's time for a closer look.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez comme dessert? Nous avons du flan, de la salade de fruits, du gâteau au chocolat et de la glace. Gâteau au chocolat, s'il vous plaît. Et un café, s'il vous plaît.
Now we're obviously wishing the best to Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson, and anyone who comes in contact with who's vulnerable to this pandemic. But last night on MSNBC, President Obama, former global star Ron McLean, said that Hanks stories especially revealing because they were actually in Australia when they were tested. If they had been here instead, thanks to the testing debacle we're experiencing in the U.S., they might not have been able to get tested at all.
President talked tough on travel, and in the meantime,
can I just say that I feel like a member of the Ku Klux Klan with probably I have a best friend that's white, black, or someone that I admire that is black. That's how bad the hate is for Donald Trump, that I'm almost afraid to admit that I want to support him. It almost feels like the hate that people have for Donald Trump is absolutely ridiculous. When it happened for Obama, I kind of aligned with Democrats because I felt Obama was sharp and on top of things, was relatable. And in the same way, I felt Donald Trump has exceeded expectations. He seems energetic. He seems sharp as a whip as far as being all there. And he generally engages people. That's why people fall in love with him. But yeah, I was disappointed with the people that hated on Obama, and I thought we would be different, being that I considered myself a Democrat for those 8 years, but I no longer claim a party. I'm not even independent. I am an objective observer, or whatever that term is. I choose to kind of observe, and anyways, I'm disappointed with people that are even worse than, I'd say equally as bad as the people that opposed Obama. This seesaw of hatred seemingly it does nothing for us. It just exposes us as immature humans, ultimately. I think it's time to support the people in leadership and get over ourselves. Our hatred is so blinding that anything that it's just like, as staunch racist, because I believe we're all racist, so I want to clarify what kind of racist I'm talking about. The racist that intends to hurt people, intends to change their lives in a negative manner. That's how I see the people that are slamming Trump. They're so blinded by their hatred that they painted a picture of him, and no matter what comes out of that picture, it's bad, it's jokeable, it's laughable. And that's how it feels to be black sometimes. No matter what comes out of my mouth, I'm still black. and people hate me for it. And Donald Trump is an example of how people can become complacent with hate and justified by it just because they painted a picture and people around them painted the same picture, and they have strength in numbers, and then they all of a sudden become little immature children talking about that person as if he's not a human, as if he doesn't come from a mother, as if he's not a child of God. I'm so disgusted by people sometimes.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. You are so pretty. You all shut up. Go in the room. What's he saying? When you look at yourself, you're supposed to say, I'm so pretty. You are so pretty. Do you hear me?
Elizabeth responded to Elizabeth applauding Trump's response to the virus by tweeting, oh dear God, not again. Enough with her. Studio audience, yeah, so they decided yesterday, like all the talk shows decided to go without a studio audience.
Admit it. There's another comment tonight from the director of Harvard Global Health Institute who said, and I quote, "This is an unmitigated disaster that the administration has brought upon the population, and I do not say this lightly. We have had a much worse response than Iran, than Italy, than China, and South Korea."
You also believe that the value of the running backs has been significantly diminished, and the point I use, and it's because teams feel like they can go younger and cheaper, right?
Of the virus, so just keeping, not letting all those people gather together in a big place together, right?
And we should say that was before yesterday, before Trump did his address last night. But still, I mean, same kind of thing. The states still aren't testing people on.
No, I picked up a fumble once and ran with it, and I thought I was going to score. And I got hit by about 17. They brought dudes off the side to punish me.